Gosh, I'm like one step away from everything falling. Anyway, we have to get spritz up with a Bratz Style and Body Spritz. I think this came out like 2004.
What's that smell?
So we're doing something a little different today. Before we get into that, this finally came in the mail. I had to order off of Mercari because Crash Cosmetics is not sent to the US. So, for those of you who don't know, Crash Cosmetics partnered with Bratz. They made their own collaboration for the Pretty Punk line, not Pink Punk. I just love all the details and everything. I almost don't want to open it. This is real chain, like, and this is a choker. I was really surprised. Like, oh my god. Yeah, so this is the Style and Bratz mirror. On the back too, they have artwork of Roxy. They put Sasha in there and Nevra, which, you know, they're not in the actual line, but it's interesting to see what kind of things they would wear. But Roxy and Nevra would have been cute. I like Roxy's outfit a lot. Nevra's, on the other hand, I'm not into. I feel like it's in the vein of Sasha's outfit, where it's just kind of like almost punk. I also doubt this will fit me. Because why would it? Oh, look at this. If you pull this down, the Style and Bratz mirror. I'm just a big dude, so everything's a little smaller than I expect, so. This is cool. Oh, like, this is so iconic. Like, I love the shape of it too. It feels like a real, like, if the Bratz made a movie, this is all I need. My nose is super oily. Anyway, so yeah, this is a Crash mirror. It is hollow, but I mean, it's cute. It's a cute mirror. So there's a little chain. That's not fitting anywhere on me. That's not fitting me. Nope. I'm gonna get an extension. Like, look at that. Y'all didn't know I'm a big ass dude, so.
Girl down, you already know.
So basically, you know, I'm in college, I'm doing fashion design. It's really cool, it's really fun. And one of my classes is textiles. And in textiles, we're learning about different textiles and the history. We're also learning about, like, you know, how to talk about them, you know, what they're good at, the properties they have, the vocabulary, so you know what you're talking about and you don't look dumb. Do I have to go over things again? Yes. At Wake College, things are going really quick, which is good and bad, because I also want to retain the information, which means I'm going to have to study even after I get home, which is something that I probably should be doing anyway, but so far I've impressed myself. So, so we were assigned each, for our final project, we were assigned a textile that we needed to use to do some basic research on it, but also like create a fun project. You could either do a digital board just illustrating you know, the things you found out about your textile, or you could do a physical one. And I just knew I wanted to do a physical one, but I didn't want to do a board. I kind of wanted to, I don't know, I kind of wanted to include doll making. Like, I just want to include a doll somehow, because we're talking about textiles, we're talking about fabrics. So I just thought it'd be cute. So when I got the one that I was assigned cashmere, which I didn't know much about cashmere. I knew it was just like a sweater fabric, but expensive, honey. I don't think I've ever owned cashmere, or I've probably seen it around. I just never paid attention, but oh my god. So it comes from the cashmere goat. And the reason that it's so expensive is just because, like, the goats only produce, or like, they only get shaved like every so often. Their fur doesn't necessarily come around year round. So whenever it comes around, it's like, oh, we need to do this quick, but also there's just not a lot of it. So it goes by quickly. So it's kind of scarce, kind of rare. So that's why it's a little bit more expensive. So with that, I'm gonna include some videos and stuff of, take it away, me. All right, so we're gonna start off by creating this look for her. I didn't really know her name at this point, and this is actually my second design, because I did need to do some updates, but yeah, she's gonna have her standard Bratz look to her, standard body Bratz, you know. I definitely wanted to give her a more punk rock edge look, a little more grungy. The way I imagined it is, like, if I'm thinking about it in terms of like my family or whatever, you know, we didn't own cashmere. It's just simply too expensive. So if I did own anything, it would be from like a hand-me-down. So maybe it's beaten up, maybe it's tattered, and maybe she's gonna play in on that. So I definitely took that inspiration. I kind of gave her some, you know, edgier makeup, and also, like, honestly, Doja Cat's Agora Hills was on non-stop replay whenever this was on, so it's just interesting to see how this all came out. But yeah, I'm very happy with her. So the next step was definitely I'm using this Bratz Rock Jade. Her hair was awful, so I decided to use her as like the donor or whatever. So first we had to take out all of her rooting. We basically do that with like a, you know, screwdriver or whatever, just take out all the glue. I didn't warm it up, although I should have. Her head was very hard, or the glue inside definitely was, so getting all this off was awful. But yeah, so I just went through, scraped on the whole head, and eventually all that hair came out. So, and this is all that she had left, or this is all the hair that was in her head. So yeah, here she is. Next we got to take off her makeup, so let's do that. So utilizing some acetone, I have this Q-Tex Care here, got it from Walmart. Just basically going to put this on a cotton swab or cotton round, and take off her makeup. It's a really simple process. The only thing I'd say is that whenever you're taking off this makeup, just make sure like to use different parts of the cotton round or the cotton swab, just because like if it gets dirty or whatever and you put it back on the face, it might transfer and just spread. So always use a clean area. But ooh, look at that. And here she is. She's all cleaned up. It's just an empty Bratz face. And now we can go spray Mr. Super Clear on her. So the next thing, I'm creating the hair, and I'm using yarn to create this. It is 100% acetone, 100% acrylic yarn. I'm just tearing it apart by the strands. So I'm just pulling them apart one by one, and this will be used as her hair. It is a tedious process, but definitely works. So. So I pinned a little push pin through her head just to kind of open up some of those hair plugs. And then I'll go ahead and grab one of the strands that I have and kind of wrap that around my finger pretty tightly. And then you'll just slide the needle point edge through. And then from there, after you kind of grip it, you take out the push pin and you just plug it in. And there's our first little strand. Now the billion more. And after hours, this is exactly what I have. I'm still working on the top of the head. I'm trying to plan out her part line, which is basically going to be the same thing. But yeah, here she is. It's pretty crazy right now, but we'll go ahead and comb it out. Alrighty, and here it is, the finished product. I still need to define the part line by doing some thatching, but otherwise I filled up every plug. It does make the hair a little thicker, but once we comb it out, it's going to be a lot thinner. And plus, since it's black underneath, you won't necessarily see any of it unless you're really looking, but yeah, there we go. And next I'm going to use some Fabri-Tac. I just have this super fabric glue that I'm going to pour in her head, and then I'm just going to swish that around using Q-tips and using some toothpicks and a toothpick. Oh my god, toothpicks and some and a toothpick to kind of just swish it all around. So I wanted to mention too, as you're doing this, just try to make sure to hit all points of the head, because if you do miss something, it might be easy for it to come out. Just get everywhere around there and definitely allow it to dry for a lot of time. But yeah. And now it's the fun part, we're just brushing it through. I'm using this pet comb to do that. Just trying to get all of the yarn to untangle. And it's going to tear out a lot of it, like in terms of like the bottom or whatever is going to come undone. So don't be alarmed by that. But once it does come out, it's going to be about this length, which I don't think it lost a lot of length. It just lost a lot of its thickness, because that whole ball is basically the other part of that yarn. I find that yarn does better when you're doing like textured hair. She's gonna have straight hair, but I didn't have the money to buy like nylon hair or whatever, so I was like, did I say nylon? I meant saran. Anyway, we'll wet it down and just comb it out, and we'll see what we got. So here I'm defining the part line by grabbing some of the, or splitting some of the plugs and kind of putting them one against the other. It is easier to do this where you get one plug and you put it to the left, you get the other plug adjacent to that and put it to the right, just to hide that part line a little bit. I don't think I did a great job with it, to be honest with you, but she's going to be in box, so nobody's really going to see all that. But just take your time with it. You know, you're basically just like you're hiding that hairline by putting one on the other side and one on this side. So just have some fun with it. Just play something nice, and we'll get there. So after you do that, you can comb it. You can see I did okay. What I'm also going to do is just comb it all around, and I'm separating for the bangs. So we're just going to get a couple of that, and just make a separation for it, just so I can kind of plan out where everything's going to go. So I've wetted some more, and I'm also just combing it through to really decide how much bang I want. But I do decide to start with the bob. So we're definitely calling her Bob. I'm gonna tie these up just to keep them out the way, and then we'll get to cutting. So I didn't actually plan out how I was gonna cut her hair. I just knew I wanted to be Bob. So this is kind of like not great advice, but make sure it's wet at least. I figured that since she's not really like super preppy or whatever, like her bob being like kind of messy or whatever could be okay. But I do try my best, so I try not to judge me too hard. And now it's time for her bayang. Again, I'm not planning this out. I just knew I wanted them to be small, just really high bangs. So yeah, just kind of cut and hope for the best. And honestly, she looks really great right now. So, I mean, I'm not too mad, right? We'll see. I mean, trust the process. Alright, so I made the actual patterns off camera for the jean skirt and everything. So here I am just cutting out the patterns. I want to make sure to make them as clean and crisp as I can, just to make everything kind of just go smoothly. So after that, I put the two pieces that I've cut together, good side to good side, and then we can go ahead and get to sewing as far as like the outside hem goes. And then I'm just going to iron down the inside of the hem that I just put down, just to keep everything nice and flat. That way we can sew down the seam line. Just keep everything clean. So I don't want a lot of bulk, so I'm definitely going to sew down this little area on the inside, just so it could be like a clean edge. And plus I like the little detail that how it looks once you sew that area down, especially for denim, because it makes it look more jean-like. You'll see in a second. And then what I do is I'm just adding more details at this point. So on this part, this is going to be the front of the skirt. So I'm adding some details as far as the seam line going down. I'm going to add pockets, just little things like that. And they're just going to be sewn on pieces because a lot of this is going to be covered up by the actual cashmere sweater. So you're not going to be able to see it anyway, but I like having the detail there. So here I am just adding some details like the little fly detail, add the pocket details, just so I can have it there. I feel like, you know, I'm lying if I don't put them on there, even though you're not going to be able to see them. So at this point, I'm actually sewing in the darts that go along the back. This way we better fit around her hips and her butt, just so it's not like just a weird plank. So we're definitely gonna add those on there. And here it is all assembled. You can see how it's like all together, the different fabrics. I love it. So next we're gonna go ahead and iron everything down and make our final touches. And here we are with the final skirt product with all these details. Super cute, and now I'm gonna have to distress it. So while it's cute now, she's gonna be destroyed. In the meantime, I'm pinning down all the pattern work for the sweater itself. not to lie, this is like the 5th sweater I made, just because it wasn't fitting the way I wanted it to. So this last one is the perfect one. I guarantee you're gonna love it. And I think this is actually where I kind of ended up at. Although I don't think this is the final sweater. I just wanted to show you the process of. This is faux cashmere, so I don't know if it works the same way as regular cashmere. I don't think it does. But the way that it comes apart and the way that it is weaved together, it's really interesting. So I kind of want to show you some of the deconstruction process, or like distressing. So I'm pulling out individual threads, and it was actually kind of difficult to do, if I'm not gonna lie, because it just has a way that it's put together. So faux cashmere is definitely made out of a different material than cashmere, obviously, because it's fake. So it might not, work the same way. However, for this faux cashmere, what I was doing was going in between the weaving and going, because on a lot of things that are weaved together, you could see like lines, lines of how it's weaved, and I was going between vertical lines and separating them individually. And once I did that, it started coming apart, and I don't know what it is about cashmere, but it's almost like 2 layers. So you're able to see the layer underneath, and I thought that was just really awesome. Just the way it looks. I mean, look at that. Oh, it's so cool. I think what makes distressing so cool is that, like, it's almost not the same unless, like, a machine does it. But when you're doing it by yourself, like, it's really creative, or really, like, make it your own type moment. Kind of crafty, but honestly, like, it does give a lot of edge, and I really love it. So if you ever have time and you have a sweater you don't like, I'd recommend taking it apart, just really figuring it out. But yeah. So here's the finished product. Since this was a school project, I didn't have time to record a lot of it, but yeah, as you can see, like, all the distressing came through. The arms are a lot wider. I just love it so much. Like, it's really personal, and I feel like it's intentional, and you can tell. But if you can't tell, let me know in the comments. So now I'm prepping her head for the repaint, and this is gonna be my 4th repaint I've done, so go easy on me. No hexy in here, you know what I mean. So I'm putting her hair inside of this this cocoon, just to protect her from the Mr. Super Clear. And she's in her Cleo de Nile era. Here she is in her mummy wrap. She's looking amazing. Now I could go spray her Mr. Super Clear, and we can get started. So here we are starting on this paint up, and I always get our face up, and I always get like really nervous when doing this. So I was actually trying to put like, I had to do this twice. So this is me trying to put like thin lines just so I could kind of map out her face, but honestly I couldn't even see them, so I need to come up with a better strategy for that. I do have my Derwent pencils out, the watercolor pencils, and I have another brand over there, Staedtler watercolor pencils, and both worked fine. This is my first face up on this. I guess like this is the first time, not first time. This is the first face up I've done for faux. I had to do it again, but whatever. We're gonna get started on her eyes, and hopefully you can see anything. This is embarrassing. So I'm just adding little details here and there. I'm trying to be as light as I can be. I do hear that you want to start with the lighter colors first before you're going with darker colors, but here I am, like, not following my own rules. And that's how you mess up. I mean, I don't know, her eyebrows didn't come out right. I wasn't really referencing the picture, but I had a general idea of what I wanted. It's just a lot of mess, honestly. So it's around here that I noticed that I'm not really into her eyes. I think that they're kind of slanted in two different ways, and I hated that. The more I looked at it, the more I cringed, to the point where it's like, I don't love this. Maybe I'm a little too harsh on myself, but I'm going to try to fix it, but as we know, I do start over. So at this point, I think this is the second face-up that I did. What really messed up the first face-up, it was that I put purple eyeshadow, and I don't know why I did that. I just wanted something dynamic, and it just wasn't in the cards for her. So for the second one, I felt like I did a little better. I'm just gonna show y'all here eventually. Honestly, recording everything was a mess, and I give kudos to anybody that does face-ups and records themselves at the same time, because, child, it's not easy. So your bear definitely ran out of Mr. Super Clear at some point, so I couldn't finish his spray up, or like seal it in, which is kind of scary, but here she is. This is Faux. This is exactly what I needed. Her eyes aren't where I want them, but honestly, I can't go back. But at the same time, like, at some point I gotta stop, because I'm not gonna get any better overnight. It's just consistency that will get better. And I was pretty happy with where she was, even though she was slightly giving me clown. This is giving me Thorgy Thor in some ways, and fixing that hair. I can't even boy wash her again because she's not sealed, so we're gonna have to get creative. Alrighty, so here I am putting her together for the first time. It was actually really exciting to see it all come together, because I was worried on some aspects, like maybe the makeup not matching her outfit, which it kind of doesn't, but at the same time, again, this is our punk rock girl. She doesn't really care, you know what I mean? So, yeah, so the sweater is not intended to come back off again. This is going to be in a doll box forever, hopefully. I'm giving it to the school, so they can use that for future examples. So yeah, I'm putting her all together, and I'm really liking where she's at. Like, it's really giving. I kind of get ghosts from it, but like I said, Agora Hills is on my mind, so if you picture Agora Hills, think of her. I hope it goes well together. And here she is all together for the first time ever, and I'm honestly in love with her. I'm very proud. I mean, she came out really good. Let me know what you guys think. Hold on, I'm gonna get her together and I'll show you. Is she cohesive? I don't know. She's giving a bit of clown, but I mean, that's me on a daily basis. Kind of wanted to show you the process of how I made the box. I did order these boxes from Amazon. They're just general doll boxes. They're like, I think they're 13 to 14 inches high and 2 inches wide or something like that. So I definitely needed to cut it down some. I wanted to add a base in there, just to kind of give you an idea of what it should look like. Also, shout out to Robert Welch, love him. So I do feel bad that I didn't get a lot of the process on camera. Like I said, I was kind of crunching on time, but I did cut it down to here. I think this is a perfect size. What I'm gonna do, or what I did anyway, which again I wish I recorded, was that I did the inserts. So I just made these side panels and all this stuff. So just kind of want to show you everything I did. Just kind of giving, you know, I took a picture of the fabrics that I used and kind of just placed them on the photos just to give a color story. Then went with this like vintage vibe. So I think it's cute. Let me scratch my arm. I hope you didn't hear that. Alright, and here's how it should be fitting. This is going to be the back panel. I think it's perfect. Oh, I'm really excited. Like, I'm really excited, and I know how it turns out, but still, let me be excited. Perfect. Yeah, so I wanted to make this faux. I wanted to like make it like see-through. So I'm like carefully cutting out the letters just so like you can look through it and see her, and plus add a little light to the inside of the packaging. This was supposed to be easy. Wasn't as easy as I thought it was going to be, but anyway, have some fun watching me cut out this F. There we have it. So I glued everything in, I cut everything out. Honestly, this project just took forever. Also, shout out to my girl Pearl Swirl. I love Pearl. She knows it. Hey, Pearly. But yeah, I'm trying to get the lighting right. But yeah, put all the properties, favorable properties, unfavorable properties. Put some quotes down there. She's cashmere. I did add some pieces too, so I think that's real cute. Yeah, it was a hard project, but I'm glad I got through it. Alright, and here's the final product. Yeah, so I don't know. I would say the face probably took the longest, honestly. Designing the actual box or whatever was actually kind of fun. It was kind of cute, you know. But yeah, sorry, somebody messaging. It was kind of fun. It was kind of cute designing it. I think I had the most fun with just designing the box area. Doing her face was definitely a challenge. I'm very proud of it now, even though I still see the flaws that I don't like. And it is kind of sad that I ran out of Mr. Super Clear before it was due. One thing is that I'm going to leave this with the college, just like as a student example, so when the next people come in to take Textiles 1, they'll be able to see this as an example. I think it might be different than what other people have done. I've heard that other people made dolls, but like did they make the doll box, you know, did they make it cute like this? Like, I'm really impressed with myself. I mean, there are some things that are like, ooh, I could have thought that through. But that's whatever. I mean, she's staying in there. She's not going nowhere. Her yarn hair might move a bit, but whatever. I'm very happy with her. I'm very proud of myself. It's probably the craziest project I've done. So like, there's that. But yeah. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Yeah, let me know down below what you think. What would you give it? You know, what grade would you give me? The doctor, Dr. Stanford, said that he doesn't give hundreds, so I'm expecting a 99. So I guess we'll see. But yeah, let me know what you think about Faux below, and thank you for watching. Bye. So the project went pretty well, I think. My presentation, I might have been a bit nervous, so I don't know how that went, but if you did watch this video, I do appreciate y'all. Until next time, see you later.